UFC 314 coming at you live and in pay-per-view. Isn't it crazy that we all just say pay-per-view, but it's like pay-per-view? Because how else are you gonna look at a paper? But anyway, the fights. The main card is starting at 4 a.m., which sucks for South Africa because that is the country that I reside in, and it's a Sunday morning. It's the 12th of April in the States, in Miami, Florida, which is really dope. And stake meter, shout out to Freestyle Bender. I would say this is a good 7.5. Yeah, I just feel like it's a 7.5. But anyway, the prelim card is also pretty loaded. Jim Miller is fighting for the what's 48 plus 8 for the 56th time in his MMA career, which is insane. I hope he retires after this. He's fighting Chase Hopper, and you know it's time to exit when they're feeding you up and coming talent. Don't really know too much about these two, but the last fight that I saw from Jim Miller, he was getting picked apart by King Green. So he's looking for revenge, and Hooper, not Hopper, Chase Hooper. Sorry, brother, I don't know your game, so it's gonna be interesting to see. And then the first fight in the prelim card, it's Darren Elkins and Julian Erosa. Sorry, I've never seen those fight before. Just being honest, keeping it real. Anyway, Yan Xiaonan versus Vernia Jandiroba. I think because Yao Xiaonan got championship experience the last time she fought Weili, and people are gonna argue that she was choked out and she was like out. I don't know why that fight was not stopped, but it went the distance. She got the experience. Maybe she worked on her game. She worked on the holes that she had in her game, and hopefully she's gonna make a difference. But I'm gonna go with Yao Xiaonan. I think she's gonna be too dynamic, too long, and I know Verna has a good submission game, but I think Yan Xiaonan would have made the relevant adjustments in order for her to compete in this fight. And then Dan Ige and Sean Woodson. I now know never to count out 50k. I mean, his name is like 50k. I mean, this dude took a fight against a very dangerous opponent. I think it was like 11-hour notice or something. It's insane. The guy just keeps delivering, and I think if he continues to work hard enough, he has a very, very bright future in featherweight. So Dan Ige versus Sean Woodson. I'm going Dan Ige. The only complaints I guess I have is Dan Ige was fighting a really top prospect in his last fight, and now he's relegated to the prelim card. Maybe that just speaks to how stacked it is, and there's really nothing to it. But yeah, Dan Ige decision or KO. I don't know. I'm not gonna do those things. Then you guys are gonna come for me and say I'm wrong. But to the main card, Nikita Krylov versus Dominic Reyes. That is in the light heavyweight decision. We all know that a lot of people will tell you that Dominic Reyes hasn't really been the same since that John Jones fight. I don't know, maybe there's things inside of him that were broken, that he just never recovered. Like, you just not the same after you fight John Jones. Ask Alexander Gustafsson. There was a time when he was on a long layoff, came back, got knocked out, and I think that was the last time we saw him in the octagon. But I'm gonna go Dominic Reyes because I believe he won his last fight. Nikita Krylov, I haven't seen much of his fights, but he's a veteran. I mean, he has 39 MMA fights, so that's sure to be a firefight. And then Bryce Mitchell and Gene Silva. Gene Silva's part of the Fighting Nerds, and they just have this insane steam. And he has won a couple of fights in the UFC. I think he only lost once, if I'm not mistaken. But you guys go check out the UFC website. And Bryce Mitchell is coming from a win against Kron Gracie. You'll remember Bryce Mitchell suffered that crazy knockout where Josh Emmett knocked him out, but he came back, bounced back. I mean, he got a KO win against a Gracie, if you know the Gracies, then yeah, it was kind of a boring fight. Kron was just pulling out the whole time. It was really annoying to watch, but he was doing whatever he had to do to win. But it became predictable. He was slammed to the ground, and then yeah, ground and pound. The rest is history. And then I know there's main event, there's co-main event, but the third fight before the main event, I feel like it also deserves to be called something interesting because Yair Rodriguez is fighting Patricio Pitbull. And if you know your MMA game well, Patricio Pitbull held 2 titles at Bellator MMA, both in the featherweight and lightweight division, I believe. Yair Rodriguez is coming off a loss against none other than Alex Volkanovski. And Patricio, I guess he just wants to test himself in an organization where it is an MMA leader, and it's going to be interesting. I mean, Yair Rodriguez has kicks for days, and I know you're going to tell me that there's Mirko Krokop, there was Edson Barboza, I'm forgetting one person, but I'm a new school baby, so Yair has these kicks. I mean, ask Josh Emmett, like after their fight, his body was like all red, and he choked them out as well. So that's pretty interesting. Patricio Pitbull, I'm not gonna sit here and lie to you and say I've seen his fights, but if you have 2 titles from Bellator, it doesn't always translate, but it's gonna be interesting to see what's gonna be happening. And we have the co-main event of the evening, where Michael Chandler is fighting Paddy the Baddy Pimlet. And let me tell you something about Michael Chandler. Ever since he got into the UFC, this man has never had a boring fight, right? This dude, he had how many fights in the UFC? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Out of 6 fights, there were only 2 decisions. That tells you everything you need to know about Michael Chandler. He's a man of violence. He said it himself. He said Paddy has never fought anyone like Michael Chandler, which is valid because he swings for the fences. He can't escape who he is. Like, eventually he's gonna start brawling, and we know Paddy has a tendency of leaving his chin up in the air, so you do not want to be doing that against Michael Chandler, because one shot is gonna put your lights out. I don't care how tough your chin is, but credit to Paddy as well. He very, very good ground game, submitted King Green. I mean, he had him in all kinds of trouble, and he hasn't lost a fight in the UFC. Some controversial, some not. It's going to be interesting to see, but if the fight stays on the feet, Chandler's not afraid to eat a shot to give back, but his chin is also a bit chinny. That's what I can say. But if I'm Paddy, I want to get the fight to the ground and try to choke him out. But it's proven that he knows how to handle himself on the ground as well. So it's going to be kind of interesting to watch. But yeah, he needs this bounce back win because he's now on a 2-fight losing streak, and it's going to be interesting to see. But yeah, Paddy has momentum. He's making a title run, and I'm still going to go Michael Chandler by KO. And now for the main event of the evening. Don't sue me, Mustafa. It's Alexander Volkanovski versus Diego Lopez. If you know Alexander Volkanovski's game, he has been dominating the featherweight division for as long as I can remember, until Ilia Topuria came along and proved himself to be a very, very good prospect. He took the title from Alex Volk. Alex is also coming off 2 devastating losses. So the first fight against Islam was very close, but I believe Islam won as well, because you can't rally in the last round and then think that you're gonna win, and yada yada yada. We can talk about it the whole day. And they rematched, but it wasn't even close. Islam landed a head kick, and then that's all she wrote. And he quickly turned around to go defend his featherweight title, where he got clipped. And that's just the game we play. Sometimes you get clipped, and that's exactly what happened. So he's looking to assert himself as the featherweight king, since Topuria has vacated the title, to look for other is a prospect in the lightweight division. And Diego Lopez. This guy's resume is ridiculous. And the one thing that I love about Diego Lopez, it's the same as Michael Chandler, right? He's never in a boring fight, even though he's losing. And that takes your entertainment value up. And it's very difficult to get rid of someone who puts on like really, really good fights. I think it's kind of like Kevin Holland, although you can argue that Kevin Holland's fights sometimes do get boring, but they have that entertainment value. They're always fighting, they're always active. So Diego Lopez, let me tell you, Movza Evloev is a killer. He comes through, fights Evloev short notice, but he performs so freaking well that it just immediately puts a spotlight on him, and then he fights Tucker, and then he submits him in the first round. Oh, by the way, Evloev, that's the last time he lost. He submits Tucker in the first round. He knocks out Sabatini in the first round. He goes against Sadiq Youssef, knocks him out in the first round. I'm gonna keep going, right? Then Ige comes in, 11-hour notice. They go the distance, but Lopez handles himself. Goes against Brian TCT Ortega, and he almost knocks him out in the first round. So that's what you're dealing with. He's not afraid to be punched in the face. He will knock you out. He has a chin for days. He has a mission for days. I mean, Volk can also take himself in the ground. I mean, it's proven that you can't submit Volk. We've yet to see it, and he's really, really good on the feet. I mean, there's a reason why he went 3 fights with Max and he won all of them, and we all know who Max Holloway is. So it's gonna be interesting to see, but history and statistics have showed us that the guy that has the momentum most of the time is most probably going to win. And I'm glad Volk rested a lot for this one, so we can't even say he didn't rest enough. Lopez hits hard, so I'm hoping Volk stays away from those big shots, goes for the takedown, protects himself on the ground, because Diego is a Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu black belt, and we all know that what that means. But this is not Alex's first rodeo. He's went against black belts before. I mean, he went against a combat sambo champion, and he was fine on the ground. So it's gonna be interesting to see if the championship experience versus the hunger to be a champion, what's gonna come out on top. And I'm gonna go Diego Lopez by knockout. I love Alexander Volkanovski, but Lopez has just way too much momentum, and I think if Volk wins, he reminds everyone who the hell he is, and it's gonna be interesting to see what happens next. Yes, for the sake of the division, we want to see Diego Lopez win so that there's interesting matchups. He's probably next if he beats Pitbull. So Yair versus Lopez would be interesting, but let's just wait and see. And I don't know. Let me know what you guys think about the entire event and who you got your money on. FaceTime MMA, like, comment, subscribe. Peace.